$14.3 trillion. Where did that come from? Where did, who did the United States of America borrow, lend, whatever they call it, $14.3 trillion off? Who lent it to them? Where did the $14.3 trillion come from that these people lent to the United States of America? It makes me wonder if it's real, this money, or did they just print it? Quantitative easing. And then say, well, now you owe this money to us that we've printed that didn't exist in the first place. But you can use it and pay us back in interest for this money that didn't exist in the first place anyway. So, where's all the logic in this? Who's going to reap the benefits of this $14.3 trillion that the United States of America owes to somebody? It seems very illogical. And if this $14 trillion didn't exist in the first place, then why should anyone have to give something back that didn't exist in the first place, that wasn't really tangible, was a figment of somebody's imagination? Ooh, $14.3 trillion, picks it off the tree. Because that's what the bankers are doing. Making money out of trees. And they should be making it out of hemp paper. But not them. The obvious solution to privatise banks is to do away with them. Put them on the dole. Give them new training. That's what they need. We're paying people in the United States and in the United Kingdom hard-earned wages to pay interest back on money that didn't exist in the first place. Money is debt. There is no money. And in the United States, if they agree now to raising the threshold, in another few years' time, they'll be needing to raise it again because they owe that much more with interest. And so it just spirals on and on and on. And we're paying the bankers for doing nothing other than printing money. Well, I'm certain the United States of America could print their own money if they wanted to and say, well, the Fed money is no longer legal tender, and the only legal tender that we have is the United States dollar, not the federal dollar, if that's what it's called. And the same with the pound. Do away with the Bank of England completely. Why should they be paid for printing money? Pardon me. There's no reason why they should be paid at all. The money that they lent out didn't exist in the first place, did it? It all seems just a little bit of a contract to me. In 1812, I think it was 1812, the Battle of Waterloo was raging, and the bankers at that time, mentioning no names, backed both Napoleon and England. So the banks weren't too bothered which side won, really. They were all part of the same family. Anyway, the Rothschilds. I couldn't resist it, mentioning the name. Spread the word, really, that Napoleon had won, and everything collapsed. So Mr. Rothschild bought everything, including the Bank of England, really. Up until then, it was owned by the Crown, I would presume. You know, the people. Because after all, the people serve the Queen, but the Queen serves the people. It's a unity. Or supposed to be. That's what Magna Carta was about, I think. A sharing of the wealth of the nation, really, with everybody. Well, we were peasants then, and we're peasants now, really. It's just that in a democracy, the administrations and the parties try and keep a majority of the people happy in order to get elected. But that's a contract too, isn't it? Because even those that are happy with their lot don't understand really politically and economically what's going on. They just go along with it all. They accept that this is the way things have always been. But privatised banking globally is an insanity, because all it does is create debt. Debt upon debt upon debt. And so the ceiling rises. And it will continue to rise until the people come to the senses and say, well, what are we paying this money to? Who are we paying it to? Where did they get the money to give it to us to borrow in the first place? The USA can sustain itself. And the world can sustain itself, and the people upon it. It's just that the powers that be don't want to grow hemp globally. It terrifies them, the thought that there could be virtually unlimited resources and abundance. And they hate it. They want their products to be to have a short lifespan. Whereas if you built a hemp house, instead of lasting 50 or 100 years, it would last 1,000 years. These are the facts. But no, the system that we live in wants to have products that don't last forever. And if we did have products that lasted forever, then admittedly there wouldn't be so many people working. But as long as the people were fed, clothed, and had a house above their heads, most of the people would be happy. I know I am.